Saletayo Vesimra, Calvia da Vassa Ventumeca, Ovaration of Sirka, Shani Matavas Libraca, e também Vatamarecha, Shani Barfata, Varecha, Shani, de Cavishoi, Margador Herseno, Vesamis, Lecavet, Calueseno, de Caveteniaca, Mear Bacavusar, Larsen Barfata, de Cavetin, Amo Israel, Ashiva, Shapen Kavarishin, Vatsinkavat, Vasirmaniaga, Maraham, Halinata, Dinai. לבדך בחסד ורחמים בסדר ומשפט ברחתה עיני ואלוהי צדקה ומשפט ולמד שינים תעסיקה בכל המין וכל הזרים כרגע ובכל הממירה קרסו ומלכוס הרשמרה סעקר וששבר ושמח סעניה במהרה ואמן ברחתה עיני שוי ורואבים מכניע צדיקים על הצדיקים ועל החסידים והזקנה מחבש ישראל ואפלת אז בישראל מהרגלה צדיק ועלינו מונחם מהדנה אלוהינו ושאים תחת לכל הבית בשמחה באמס ושמחה חינם ליועלם נבש כי וחבטך ברחתה עיני וישנו מבטח לצדיקים ולירושלים עירך ברחמיתה שבששך בסייך כאשר דיברת וחסד אבירה בסייך תמיני אסף בקרב בימינו בעניין אלה ברחתה עיני והנה ירושלים איזה מדע ודע בימין אסס והבקרנו אותנו בישועה שיחה כי לישועה שיחה כמינו כל היום ברחתה עיני מצביע קרן ישועה שמה כל נדלנו ברחם רחם עלינו וקבל ברחמים ברסון אספילסנו תמיד אפילוס וסחנו נמתה ומלפניה מלכינו כמה תשבנו כי אתה שומע תפילוס כל ברוך אתה עיני שומע תפילה וזה אדוני אלוהינו בעם חסר סמסם שהשיבה בואינו לדבר בישך ואיש ישראל עושה פילסם ביאבה תקבל ברצון ושאיל הרצון תמיד אבוי דס ישראל עמך ושכל זה נהנין ושוב וחלצם ברחמים ברוך אתה עיני המחזיר שכינס לציון Mãe de mandar pular chato, quando na lei você lhe vai, tá em máquina de tirar o ledor, badar, daí dela calça verde, lá seca, ao reina surim, deixa ver, depois se na feco dois lá, viane seca, chiba com animal em play, seca verde, você chiba com lei, serva vai, que vesaraim, adai que vai calor a cameca, a mirachem, que vai samuha sadeca, que miailam, que vino lá, vialcula, mismar visroim, mambisnasei, chiba malquino, tá, milioilam, vai, וכל החיים איזו חסר אבי, הלושמה גדל למקי, תוי ואי לשועסנו, ועזרסנו סלעי לתוי ברוך אתה עדינה, עדי שמך לכן אלוהי, זיו שלום תוי וברכה, חיים וחסד ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך, ברכנו אבינו כולנו כאחד ויאר פניך, כי ויאר פניך נשאת לנו דעלינו תוירס חיים, ואבס חסד וצדקה וברכה ורחמים, וחי ושלם, ותוי בינך לברך שמחה ישראל בכל עיס ובכל שביש להם ברוך אתה עדיני המברך שמו ישראל בשלום יסגדל ויסקדש אמיר רבה ואמר בירך יוסף ימליק מלכוסי ויצמח פור קריב קריב משיחי וחיי כנו ויומי כנו וחיי דוד בייס ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב מירו אמן Ishbira b'mevoira salam ulei al be'al ma'aya yisbar v'yishama v'yisbar v'yisraimam v'yisnasei v'yisadar v'yisrael v'yisalol v'yimei v'kudishta v'yichu le'ila min kol v'chaz v'shira satush v'chaz v'rechema sadamir v'almah v'miru amen tiska v'tzilai sehovahu sechot echot beis Yisrael kadam avodi v'yishmaya v'miru amen shalom arav Mincha Maariv v'chaim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'miru amen shalom yivram Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel v'miru amen. נאמר וידוני למלך על כל הארץ, ויאמרו אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, הסגדה והסגדה שמרבה, ויעמד בירך ונושא וימליך מלכוסי יצמח וקרב וקרב ישכם, וחיי כנו ואלי כנו וחיי דכל בייס ישראל, והגלה בזמן קריב ומירו אמן. Shmirava me voira Maya is very Rama is by the Sraima Misrase, Rodan Soleil Sol, Shemir Mishaberu, Leila Mikol Vitas Meshira, Satu Shatan Kamasa, Damia Yamame, Hey, Shalom Rava Mishamaya, the time that Malena, Galko Israel. Amen. Amen. Leza coices Israel e fi hermala en Torah viso shenemar adina chafetz leman sirkiyag itoira ve'adif zgad al vizkadash shemerava yal virak yusei v'amif malkusei v'asal burkanei v'karei meshukei v'chayek unroi mek v'chayek lechol beis Israel v'agalav zon karim amen. Shmirau me voirek le'alam ule'al ve'almaya yisvarei v'yikabam yisvayin v'yisraimam v'snasei v'yisadam v'yisalei v'yisalol shemei v'kutcha v'yichu le'eila v'yinkol v'ilchas v'yishirasat v'yishachas v'nechemasat amira v'almav v'amein al Yisrael ve'al avadim ve'al tamideyam ve'al kol tamidei samideyam ve'al kol madaskin v'yorai sadi v'asrat ein v'chol asar v'asad elon lechot shelem Bachina v'chiz v'rafamim v'chayin arichem v'zon reficha v'kana v'chadrem amad v'shmaya v'meru amen. Hey shalom arava Mincha Maariv v'chaim tov maleinu v'al kol Israel v'meru amen. Hey shalom migrama v'yas shalom aleinu v'al kol Israel v'meru amen.
Shmuel is inviting everyone to join a special suhoor, a special meal. He's inviting everyone to join after Maariv in honor of Rish Chodesh, in honor of Siyum. So Shmuel is inviting everyone to join. Right, today in Jewish history. So yesterday in Jewish history. Yesterday was the collapse of the walls of Yericho, Jericho, Yericho. So remember the story, Yeshua, just around a week and a half ago. When was it? A week and a half ago, when they conquered the land of Canaan, and so they surrounded the walls of Yericho. Levi, you want to tell us what happened over there when they surrounded the walls with the ark? They blew the shofar and the thing came flying in. You want to tell us what happened? You want to tell us?
Well, yeah, they circled the walls for a certain amount of times, and the walls came coming down because God took prayer to Hashem, and Hashem answered his prayer, Rabbi.
Yeah. So that was actually 7 times surrounded, right? And then they blew the shofar, and it came tumbling down. Better than dynamite. Baby, you were there, or?
No, I wasn't there.
Okay, but and in 1945 there was liberation of Buchenwald from the famous survivors of Buchenwald is the former Ashkenazic chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Somer Lau. He was one of the survivors of Buchenwald, and that was liberated on the 28th of Nisan, 1945. By the United States Army 6th Division, what's called 6th Armored Division. 6th Armored Division. That's dangerous. All right, so we're in the middle of learning on page 136. We have another 10 minutes. So we're in the middle of learning about the counting of the Aimer. We learned last week. We're learning about those Kabbalistic things on the side. We have in mind what they represent. What we're supposed to think about when we're saying them. And now we're going to go through the character traits that are there. The character traits are there. Again, look on page 136. All right. So not just are each of the character traits important, but also their order is important. So, like you have a 12-step program, the steps, each one of the steps, each one is important. Each one has important. But we learned yesterday. Our angel and myself learned yesterday about Moshe Kibbutz Torah Sinai. Just quick, it was so. So, why does the Mishnah recount those five? You have Moshe. Then it says next generation was he gave the Torah over to who? To Yeshua, and then to the Zakanim, to the elders, and then to the Nevi'im, to the prophets, and then to the members of the Anshe Knesset, the other members of the Great Assembly. What happened to? Yeah, what happened to so many other generations? What happened to David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech, Shmuel HaNavi? There were so many greats in between the giving of the Torah and when the Tan Mishnah is written. So why did the author of the Mishnah, why did the Tana choose specifically those five? Yeah, so why not add more? There's something that's more. Why specifically those five? The Rebbe explained that actually what he's discussing over there is a 5-step program to I'm using my own words over here. I'm sorry if I but it's a 5 steps in acquiring Torah. We're talking about Torah. We're talking about Torah, how to acquire Torah. And in order to acquire Torah, they've explained there's 5 steps. Those 5 steps are Moshe, Yeshua, Zakanim, Nevi'im, and Anshe Knesset. What does that mean? So Moshe, what was Moshe? What did Moshe represent? He represented humility. Moshe was an Anami Kaladam. He was the most humble person that ever lived, and he represented humility. The first step in acquiring Torah is to be humble. Like we know, it says that a vessel which is full cannot hold more content because it's full. A person who's full of themselves can't acquire Torah. They're so full of themselves. So rule number one is humility. Step number 2 after Moshe is Yeshua. So Yeshua, the great quality of Yeshua says, he didn't move from the oil of Torah, the learning of Torah. He's constantly learning Torah. He didn't stop. He was constantly learning. And the lesson for us, those of us that are working.
He was also very, very faithful to Moshe. He always fulfilled his, whatever he asked for, he filled it.
Yeah.
Joshua.
Definitely. That's probably a byproduct of learning so much Torah, not moving some Torah. And so there's 48 things mentioned in the Mishnah of how to acquire Torah. But here he's saying before we get to those 48, here's an initial 5. Right? So it's Moshe, then it's Yeshua. Yeshua is again. So what does it mean for us? People who are not learning Torah all day. We're not learning Torah all day and all night. Maybe Shmuel is. But the rest of us, we're working, we're trying to make a buck, we're trying to and so we're whatever we're trying to do, whatever we're busy with, we're diapers, whatever we're busy with. But whenever we are learning, we have to be a Yeshua. That's it. Nothing else exists. Phone, battery's dead. Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. And there's no charger. Battery's dead, no charger. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll worry about it later. Right now, 5 minutes. Let's give it all 5 minutes. Give it all we got. That's next. That's step number Yeshua. After that is the Canaan. What is the Canaan? The elders. So the Mishnah tells us, the Gemara tells us, what is a Zaken? Let's go. We have to define everything way Torah defines it. What is the Mishnah has a Zaken? The Zaken is Zeshakana Chachma, someone that acquires wisdom. That's an old person. And so, yeah. So how do you acquire it? If you buy something, you buy something, right? Yeah, kind of, right? You make a kinyan. How do you acquire? How do you acquire the Torah? How do you acquire it? So the Rebbe says, the way we acquire it second. Is again, we follow what the Gemara tells us. The Gemara says the way we acquire it is through shkia and yagia, through working hard, not through money. You can't buy a chip and put it in your brain and say, "Here, I'm acquiring Torah." You can't pay someone, and it doesn't work. No, there's no other thing. The way to acquire, make a kinyan on Torah is through working hard. That's it. The next step of the program is Nevi'im. Nevi'im. What's a Navi? What's the job of a Navi, of a prophet? The job of a prophet is siyata d'shmaya. I'm just following what Hashem wants. Whatever Hashem wants, that's what I do. I'm just a kind of Hashem. Huh? What Hashem, right? What Hashem gives me, that's what I'm a kala. So a Navi, that's what a Navi is. A Navi is not, hey, I have an idea for you guys. No, a Navi is not giving his own idea. A prophet's not giving his own ideas. A Navi is strictly giving over what Hashem wants. That's the job, to give over what Hashem wants. That's a Navi. That's step number 3. So what we got, our approach to learning has to be, I'm learning whatever Hashem wants. Whatever Hashem wants, that's what it is. Whatever Hashem wants. Whatever Hashem is teaching me, it's not a matter of what I'm gonna. Not yourself aside. It's what Hashem wants. Step number 4 is Anshik. Sorry, that was step number 4. Step number 5 is Anshik against the members of the assembly. What was their job? So we look in the Gemara. Gemara tells us they established halachas. Our approach to learning has to be in a way of what does Hashem want from me? Not just, Bottom line, what exactly? How do I apply it to life? How do I apply Torah? As the Rebbe we say, Torah lashon hayra, from the word of hayra, from the word of lesson. What is it there for me? What's the lesson for me? How do I apply it to my life? And that's the 5-step program. So again, we see here, Mishnah just says 5 things. There's 5. Everything is there's a program. It has to be exactly in that order. It goes on deeper over there, but over here, just exactly that order. That's the order it has to be. And so over here also, these steps over here, these steps in character, the way we build our character trait, it's in exactly this order, the way we're going to learn about it. Exactly the way the order is, that's the way it is. And so step number 1 is kindness. Chesed, kindness. Okay, obviously it's a character. Character is kind, be kind. Step number 2 is gvura, strictness. Step number 3, right? Sometimes we're kind, sometimes we're strict. Character. Step number 3 is tiferet, beauty, which is a combination. You can be strictly kind, you can be kindly strict, you could be, but here I'll tell you an interesting thought. So when we put on tefillin, so the Chabad custom is we put 7 times around our arm. There's 3 over here we put, and 7 over here. And we discussed last week that in the Sfirot, in the how do you say Sfirot? Over here. No, that's Midas, the character traits, but all 10 is all 10 Spheros. Spheres? The midot are this. No, the midot are the 7 midot. This 10. This eser kochat hanefesh. The 10 faculties of the soul. 3 intellectual. There's machin and midot. There's 3 intellectual, 7 emotions. So over here we're talking about the character traits, but the total is 10. There's 3 intellectual, 7 emotions. So if you look at the way, at least in Chabad, the way you put on tefillin, there's the 3 intellect. There's 3 over here, which represent the intellect, Chachma, Bina, and Das, the 3 intellectual faculties. Faculties are the faculties, right? And then we have the 7 faculties over here, the 7 character traits over here. Now, here's something interesting. According to Kabbalah, the way we put on the 7 over here is it's brought down. It says a group of 3 and 4. 7. Halacha just says 7. Shulchan Aruch, you open the Shulchan Aruch, it says 7. 7 times. How we count the 7? Okay, that's up to debate. Different minhagim, I count 7, but the Shulchan Aruch says 7 times. According to Kabbalah, it's broken down to 3 and 4. 3 and 4, same 7. 3 and 4. Why? So it makes sense according to this chagas and nehim. It's broken down in Kabbalistic spheres. It's broken down. This it's called Chabad chagas nehim. Chabad is over here, 3 intellect, but chagas next to be over here, and nehim the next 4. Chagas nehim. So it fits 3, 3 and 4. It all fits. Here's something interesting. Look at pictures of the way the Rebbe would wrap the villain, and you'll see that the 3 over here was always broken down into 1 and then 2. 1 and 2, and then 4. Again, I'm making something up. You can take it or leave it. It's not, there's no source for this. I'm telling you without a source. I'm telling you it's made up, and you don't like it, you don't have to accept it. Huh? I don't know, it's a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought. Look at the picture, you'll see it. It's a real thought. It's not, I'm saying it based on something. Look at it, you'll see the way they're put on. So it's 1, 2, and then 4. Always see 1, 2, and 4. Sometimes with full. That's another. But when it's put on fresh, you'll see 1, 2, and 4. You always see that. Look at the picture, you'll see. Huh? You'll see it. Now, it's brought down that although, I don't want to get into a whole new thing over here. It's coming up, Shavuos, regarding having dairy and meat on Shavuos. Dairy is representative of Chesed. Meat represents Gevura. Also, color-wise, meat is red. Red is also the color of Gevura, strictness of right. I don't know how they do it today, but when we were Amram, I don't know how they do it in your school, but when I school, so when the teacher would mark your test, we would mark with red pen. We still do that? Red pen? Gvura, right? Strict. They were kind teaching. Maybe they do with the different color, but it was right. Part of Gvura is part of. I also read. Smile and Gvura, smile is Mitsuyan. But meat represents Gvura, represents strictness. Dairy represents kindness. We know in true kindness, so the more when you give, it doesn't hurt you, right? You could think if you take money from your bank account and give it to tzedakah, so the money leaves your bank account and now goes to tzedakah bank account, right? It's leaving, right? That's the way it makes sense. No, that's not the way it works. Chesed doesn't work that way. When a mother gives milk, it reproduces more milk. If a mother says, you know what, I don't want to give so much milk, I'm going to just give a little milk, you know what's going to happen? She'll produce less. Okay? So, but what's the point over here is? The point is that milk represents chesed. That is what chesed is. Chesed is, the more you person mother says she's not going to give, she's going to hurt herself. She's going to hurt. The cow, that's why we have to milk the cow. We can't use the milk. We have to milk the cow on Shabbos because otherwise, right? But otherwise, the cow is going to be in pain, and we don't want tzar b'lachayim. We don't want the cow to be in pain, right? So the cow wants to give milk. The mother wants to give milk, right? And that's chesed. Chesed is the more you give, the more you get, right? That's true chesed. So, but on Shavuos, we have both. We eat dairy and meat on Shavuos because there has to be a mixture of chesed and gvur. But what comes first, dairy or meat? Yes, I know most people only have dairy on Shavuos. Yeah, that became some have meat. But the Shulchan Aruch says you have to have meat. It says you want to have, it's Yom Tov, you want to have Simchas Yom Tov, you want to have the joy Yom Tov. It says you have to have meat. Where's the beef? I know it's for a lot of women, it's for a lot of people. It's Shavuos. We're gonna take a break from meat and we eat dairy. I know that, but look at straight up Shulchan Aruch. Ain't Simcha Ela B'Basar. It's the rule. You have to have meat. That's not. Says you should. It's a suggestion. Okay, it's a nice suggestion. I mean, the Shulchan Aruch suggestion is a pretty. Okay, but same Shulchan Aruch says supposed to have meat on Yom Tov. That's what it says. In any case, but according to Kabbalah, milk, you have meat on Yom Tov. You have Yom Tov. So what do? You're supposed to have meat. Have dairy. Wait. You have to wait, right? And then have the meat, right? So what comes first, right? And so chesed comes first, and then that's the way it goes. That's the steps. The way, and then you have to fair. Okay, whatever. But there's a step. There's a protocol. The order how it goes. So first comes chesed, and then comes gvura. But you know what? Even though it's a group of 3, chesed, gvura, tiferet, chesed always comes on top. First comes chesed. Before you give strictness, You always have to first do chesed. You want to take something away, first give something to the child. First give you want to take your keys away from the child, you first have to give a different toy to the child before they lose your keys. You got to first give chesed, and then we could bring the gvura in. Then we mix the gvura in. So there's an order here. First is the kindness, and then we throw into the mix the strictness. And then we can have something beautiful coming out of this. Otherwise, you're going to have a crying child, and it's going to be a big headache. Not going to be. And so, tomorrow we'll continue. But we're going to hopefully get to, we're going to get through all the 7 steps over here, and we'll discuss exactly how to apply it, not just into our day-to-day life, but also into our business, our family life, and to every aspect of the life, exactly how it works. How in business, first you have the sale to bring the customers in, and after the sale, we bring the customers. Only after that do you have the return policy of no exchanges, no returns, or whatever. That's the Gevura part, or whatever will apply to all aspects of it. Any type of business will apply to in the coming days, not just here, but in all of the 7 steps.
And not to put the pressure on, your Rebbe is going to be direct from the Amud, yeah?
Yes, you hold up. No, Rosh Chodesh. No, we'll do it after Ryan. But we did Yisrael before Ryan. We did after Mishnah. And anyway, I don't know if learning is considered learning. I don't know if learning is considered real learning.
Really? You're wrong. It is.
I had it 118. Amen. 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 Shri Rama Rama Amen. 136. Last night counted 14, right? 14. No. Tomorrow morning, Shacharis will be in Beis Menachem. Tomorrow morning, Shacharis will be at 8:30. Beis Menachem on 10th Avenue. Everyone's invited to join us. Celebrate Bar Mitzvah.
I'm curious, brother.
Sorry.
You can help me to make it. You can help me to make it.
I was looking for the light. I couldn't find it in front of those mansions. Rabbi, sorry.
See him coming up. Everyone wants to listen to us. See him. Shmuel, you want you to see him live? To see him, we want live online? People to watch it? You don't want people to watch it online? Private? Huh?
When he talks,
Huh?
he didn't get it. It's just the version of the
What?
From what I said about the version,
Is that online? Online.
I don't know. I mean, it's out of stock, but I mean, it's in stock, but not for the reader.
Jesús, van a empezar a dinar, camíname a la escuela, vamos a echar Shmuel, you want to live or no? You want to live or no?
Live,
You want to see him live or no? Yeah, but you have people watching. Come on. Turn off. Whatever you want.
I have to go watch it.
No. Or? Tomorrow? Tomorrow morning. What time? 8:30. Okay. Where? Florida or I believe the place and I come right away. 8 for 40 years.
Yeah, the baby show alone. No thinking it hurt.
Guys, people don't wash it, guys. Offering. So my second, please. Everybody wash, please, boys. Go. Let me make it a little bit more chubby. Can wash. Over the lot. Hello. We want you to. Hey, lucky the car is all also. Yeah. The next one.
Ty, you're on camera. Ty, you're on camera. And there's three people watching. 4. Nobody.
No, it's not my house. Here in the shoe. How about 5? 26.